Hey, this is Nelson. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking over the Snapcycle R1 fat tire e-bike. Quick disclaimer, Snapcycle sent this R1 model to me for review. I'm not getting paid by them for the review, so I'm going to give you some of the things that I like and dislike about the bike, of course. But let's go ahead and go through this bike. This is the R1 model. They also have a step-through R1 model, and they also have a foldable 20-inch fat tire as well, called the S1. Now the R1s, the step over and the step through, they go for about $15.99, so $1,599, and their 20-inch fat tire folding model, the S1, goes for $14.99. Snapcycle does include the rear rack and fenders with the purchase of the bike, and these are in stock right now at their California warehouse, so they can ship within a couple of days, and the bike could be at your front door within a week or two. Snapcycle also offers free shipping, 1-year warranty, and even a 14-day return policy. Without further ado, let's get back to the components and the stats of this Snapcycle R1 e-bike. So starting out, the R1 comes with a 750 watt rear motor with 1200 watts of peak power and 85 newton meters of torque. Great for getting through snow, sand, and tough terrain if you're mountain biking. And to complement your motor, the Snapcycle R1 also comes with an integrated 48 volt, 14 amp lithium ion battery for ranges of up to 45 to 50 miles per charge. And speaking of battery charge, the R1 comes with the new 3.0 charging system. As you can see that the battery is integrated into the frame, it is bottom loading. It's underneath the down tube. So you put the key in on the other side and you turn this and it comes right out. With the R1, you're getting a Shimano turning 6-speed gear system, derailleur, and also a derailleur guard to protect it from getting bumped or damaged. And on both front and rear, you're getting 12 gauge spokes, which are also surrounded by the CST BFT 26x4 fat tire tires with aggressive tread. Really nice. Something else I want to point out too, you can see you have a lot of treading also on the sides. You have the aggressive tread on top, but you also have a lot of ridges on the side, on your sidewall, which is great for getting extra traction in tough terrain or on concrete curbs and stuff like that. So it's good because a lot of fat tire e-bikes don't have the sidewall with a pattern like this. Usually it's all flat and smooth, so it's great to see that. For suspension, the Snapcycle R1 comes with the Mozo spring suspension system. You got your lockout, and you also have your adjustment right here for tension. The R1 also comes with an integrated headlamp which draws its power from the battery when in use. And while the R1 does have a rear light, it is not integrated. It is all set on its own battery power with a switch that you just can toggle on and off, but also with a flash. So I can press the button, on and off, flash, and then it stays on. Another great feature about this bike is that it comes with dual guards to keep your chain on track while you're pedaling. Not something you see in a lot of bikes these days. You usually have one guard, but this one comes with two, so that's a little added protection to keep your chain from falling off. And one really good thing to see about the Snapcycle R1 and really the quality of the manufacturing of the bike, if you look closely, you can see the welds, really nice and tight grouping, really clean, even smoothed out a bit compared to a lot of e-bikes that have welds that are very spotty and spaced out too much. So really good clean look on the welding when it comes to the Snapcycle R1. Props to them. And when it comes to seating, you have a thin gel-like feel to the seat, the stock seat. It does come with a quick release, which you can adjust the seat as needed. Now moving to the brakes, you're getting Tektro brakes. They are mechanical disc brakes with 180mm rotor. The bike also comes with an adjustable kickstand. That way you can adjust the height and angle of which the bike leans. And up above on the handlebars, you have this leather style wrapping on the grips. You have the horn right next to the handle. You have the controls for the LCD display. You have your brake levers, which also come with the motor inhibitor, which stops the motor when you press the brake. And on the right, you have the 6-speed button shifter. You have the half twist throttle, and you have the other half of the leather style wrapped grip. And when you look at the controls, the LCD screen, I'm going to turn it off. Alright, so I'm going to turn the bike on so you can see all the icons and logos that are on the screen there. Now you can see I've already taken it out 9.3 miles on the trails. And this is the trip meter. Just press the M button to kind of cycle through the modes. Here is the max speed that I was able to go. Now speaking of speeds, that 32 miles an hour, that was after we unlocked the bike. And yes, you heard me right, unlocking the bike. When you first get the bike out of the box, it comes with class 2 settings, speed settings. You could unlock that to a class 3 to get a few more miles per hour and a bit more power, which is exactly what we did to get this bike up to higher speeds. Alright, so here you can see right up here the miles per hour. Pedal assist speed is at 1. Battery level. Now I had this out the other day for about 2 hours, and you can see not one bar has actually gone out yet. Here's the trip, 9.3 miles on that trip, but you just press the M button to cycle through. You press it twice. On the odometer, there's 16 miles total that have been driven on this bike. So I have been testing this out since I got it about a week ago. Now, one good thing is that like I said, the shipping. These bikes are ready to go. They're in California. They're ready for shipping to customers. I got my bike probably within a week and a half or so. So it was really quick. So not much for waiting for the bike. So overall, that's the stats on the Snapcycle R1, which will also be the same stats on their R1 step through. Now, what do I like and dislike about the bike? Well, these likes and dislikes might be functional, but some of them mostly will just be personal preference. So let's start off with what I don't like, or I wish would be different. Now, this is by no means a no deal on the bike, but when it comes to the tires and reflectors, these are not my favorite thing to see. I wouldn't put these on, but at least they do give you reflectors to be safe at night. Myself personally, I would take these off, and if I still wanted reflectors, I would probably buy something that matches, maybe a black housing with the reflector in the center. But this, I personally wouldn't have this on there. So I would take it off. Again, It's not something that would prevent me from buying the bike because you can easily take that off. And next would be the seat. Most stock seats, and again, this is my personal preference, most stock seats I'm not a fan of. I'm a bigger guy, and I do prefer a wider seat. And almost every bike I have, I always replace the seat with something different. So, might be fine and perfect for you, but for me, I usually get something a bit more premium than the stock seats. Also, if you look closely at the pedal, I'm not sure if the pedal is what type of material the actual pedal is made out of, but at the very ends where the reflector things are, they stick out beyond the pedal, and they're very loose, and it looks like they can come off really easy. So these cheap plastic ends to the pedal do concern me, because your foot could snap these off pretty easily. And again, I don't know what type of metal this is for the pedal, but it doesn't really seem that strong. But I could be wrong. I mean, this is how it feels, how it appears. But definitely, these plastic ends with the reflectors don't seem like they would stay on very long with aggressive riding. Another thing, which is really my personal preference, is especially since the bike is mostly a dark gray and black, to put shocks that have this, silver chrome material sets it off. I like to keep it all even for colors, black and gray, which would be great. But you have the advertising of the shocks right here, the sticker, which I think you could probably peel off if you wanted to maintain that nice, sleek, black look with the gray. But you can still defeat this if you're not willing to replace the entire shock suspension system. You can buy these neoprene sleeves that cover it up and protect dust and grime for getting in there and messing up your shocks, which I actually do recommend. They're not expensive. You get them from both sides, the neoprene sleeves to put on both sides. But you can get a black one, which would add to the black and gray theme and get rid of that chrome looking color. The other thing is, which we kind of already talked about, was the rear taillight. I would much rather see a taillight that's integrated. Not that that's a problem, because it only takes a second to really turn on the light, press the button. It's not a big deal. Plus, it doesn't drain the battery as much, which means you got more power going to the headlight, and your headlight is brighter. If you're drawing power to power this as well, you might notice a bit of a decrease in power, and you drain the battery. Not that it's a deal killer, obviously, but I really wish it was more of an integrated tail light on the Snapcycle R1. And my final and last gripe are these leather style wrapped grips. These you find at almost every single e-bike out there. Now, they look good, they feel good, but are they really functional? For a big guy like me, I do put a lot of weight on my palm, which sits right here on that curve. And after time, it spins the grip around the ends of the handlebar. So I usually always wind up replacing these, and it would have been nice if they had something perhaps that had clamps on both ends. That way it would keep you from, at least keep the grips from spinning and turning on the ends. But yeah, and that's all I have for gripes. Other than that, I'm going to go over and tell you exactly what I really like and appreciate from the Snapcycle R1. So the first thing I love about the Snapcycle R1 is that you can upgrade it from a Class 2 to a Class 3 to get a bit more speed. That's something that a lot of e-bikes, they maybe did let people do in the beginning, but then decided not to give them access to do those types of upgrades to their bikes through the menus and settings on their e-bike. And another thing I really like, and you can see it because it's right behind here, the Snapcycle R1 comes with these really nice braided cable keepers they just keep it, they make it look really, really clean and keep things really nice and tidy. Because if you've had these e-bikes, you know, wires are everywhere. They're all over the place. And to see something like this that keeps everything together and tight is a good thing, because it prevents it from snagging and pulling. Because these connectors are very sensitive. The last thing you want to do is twist one of these connectors, because these pins are very small and very, very delicate. And when one of these go out or break the pins, then you got to replace, you know, the whole thing. So that's definitely a good thing to see these braided cables. Another thing, very, very clean. I love this look. I know it looks really cool from up here. It looks like a gas tank, like a motorcycle gas tank, because of the integrated battery. But the cables come out right through here on the sides. They look like they have little vents on the sides, on both sides right here, which I really, really like, because it just gives it a nice clean look instead of having all the cables coming out from underneath and, you know, have them go around the fork and all that stuff. It just seems kind of dangerous, to have all those wires coming up and around the fork, the suspension forks. Nice and clean coming through the frame. I do like that the battery is also integrated, because it just gives you a bit more room, a bit more real estate to mount tire pumps, water bottles, locks, you name it. It gives you a bit more room in the triangle space right here. So it's good to see integrated battery. Also the fenders. The fenders are plastic. I like the plastic, mostly. I could tell you I like certain things on metal fenders and plastic fenders, and I dislike, you know, things on both of them as well. But I find nothing but more pros on the plastic fenders than I do the metal ones. So these look really good. They're flat black on Snapcycle, and I do love the plastic fenders because it just makes things easier for any adjustments. And but here's the thing: when putting this together, and I do have a unboxing and assembly video coming up soon for the Snapcycle. If you want to see that, check my videos. If it's not up, it'll be up soon. Adjusting the fenders. Usually there's so many different places to put it or how to adjust it. Let me tell you, it was pretty much just plug it in right there, tie it down with the screw. That's it. There was literally no adjusting needed. This may have been the first time in all the e-bikes I've put together where I didn't have to fuss with it. And there's look at the gap. Look at the gap. Look at the space available. That it was so easy on both sides. It's the same way. So no fuss at all with the fenders. The other thing is the back rack. The back rack, as you can see, it shows one installation point right here with the screw. And you're thinking, oh gosh, that doesn't look very strong. Well, the reinforcement comes right here, just underneath the seat here on the frame. 3 screws right there. Now this is really, really, this flat bar is really strong. So you have a straight down, and I mean straight down, which is good because angles aren't that great when you're looking for stability. You're looking for, you know, something that's straight down, straight bar, like a pillar. You're getting more weight that you can support on top, and then you have this really sturdy bar attached in. So I would suspect this back rack is very, very capable of handling heavier loads. Not to mention the space available. I could fit my whole hand underneath the rack, which is great, especially if you want to mount cameras underneath here. And it'd be easy to mount because you have a lot of tubes to clamp things down on, or even other accessories. You can even put your tire pump and strap it down underneath. Put it in, take it out, all from right here. So that's really good to have that much space under the back rack and not, you know, have to struggle with getting in and underneath it. And what else? And another thing I really like about the tires is, as I mentioned before, the sidewalls having this textured pattern, these rigid ridges on them, which if you could feel it, it's almost like having extra thread or tread on the side of your tire, which would only be good for when you're biking out there and you need that traction. So I love that part of it as well. Another great feature I really like is the new 3.0 charging system. That means you can charge this bike up in 3 to 4 hours, which is a lot faster than those old 2.0 systems that a lot of those other e-bikes have. Those other e-bikes could take you 5 to 8 hours to fully charge. With the 3.0 system, you could be empty and be at a park or near a store, someplace, plug in, read a book, look at your phone for about an hour or two, and then get enough juice to get back home using the rapid charging system. So again, another great thing. I think all e-bikes should have the new 3.0 charging system, to be honest. It would save a lot of time and stress for a lot of bikers. So there it is. My take on a Snapcycle R1. Is it worth $1,599? I believe it is. And I believe with no waiting, basically, get your bike within 2-3 weeks, even better, especially in today's competing market where it might take a month or 2 months to get a bike. For $15.99, you're getting a great fat tire e-bike. Great stats, especially with the ability to upgrade the bike from a Class 2 to Class 3. Awesome. I definitely recommend it. If you're interested in the Snapcycle R1, check below in the description of this video. I'll have a link to their website and also their social media accounts. And without further ado, this is Nelson. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to support my channel, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you out there in a future video. Thank you.